Hey, what's up, YouTube? Haven't made a video in a couple days, and while the place is in a mess, um, just understand that while I will try my best to block the mess, I can't really do anything about my dad, and he's been working a lot, working late here lately, because he took some time off, so he's kind of catching up. But first of all, I want to start out talking about the fact that I'm wearing my cap because my hair looks pretty bad, since it was cut pretty short. But I'd rather have it shorter than longer because, eventually it's going to grow out, but it gives me more time, between now and my next haircut. And I did wear my earrings, the little spiders, if you can tell what they are, because I'm sick to death of people calling me a man. This is just really getting old. I mean, it's been happening for years across various websites. Um, Everything from Yahoo Answers when I was 23 to basically every anonymous or, you know, site every site where you post anonymously or where your gender is not verified, which it really can't be online. Um, I've had people do that in chats and just all kinds of places, just accuse me of being a man. And it's just really getting old because, and the things that are being said about me, um, like I've had somebody post on my Twitter. Let's see, I could try to get this out the way. Yeah, that's a little more out the way. Not much. But somebody posted on my Twitter that they want to cut off my you know what. Well, that would be pretty hard since I was born without one. But anyway, I'm just really tired of being called a man. Um, Although I'm wearing my ball cap that looks like it has planets on it. Um, I'm just really sick and tired of that because I'm not a man. I don't have a you know what, and I'm tired of being accused of having one. Um, but anyway, I am clearly a woman in that I was born, with female genitalia, like it or not. That's just what I am and what I always will be. So, anyway, one thing I want to talk about today, which I haven't made a doll video in a while, but I'd like to document something that happened kind of back in September, but I didn't find a way to document it. Let's see. Something that happened was I got this Aladdin doll, which Aladdin was one of the Disney movies I was somewhat obsessed with, not severely. But he didn't have a shirt, so I made him one out of felt. And one thing I like about him is that he's only 9 inches tall. And I'm going to title this video Jazzie and Jasmine. You see this right here, I got her later. This is a Jasmine doll. And she's actually she didn't have a shirt on either. And they're both about 9 inches tall, which I like that because I feel like, dolls that are a unique height, instead of all being the size of a Barbie or a Ken doll like this. I like that. I wish they had made more dolls that were like, just unique sizes instead of Barbie and Ken dolls. 11 and a half, 12 inches. So here is Aladdin and Jasmine. And what's ironic about Jasmine, you see, I don't know who had these dolls, but they sure didn't take good care of them. I had to wash them in a delicate wash bag in the washing machine. And basically I made him like a little vest, it's supposed to be purple, but I made it blue because that's a bit more manly. And her little bra is something that came from a Jazzie doll way back in 1991 when I was 8 years old. And that's what I want to talk about, which I've already talked about. And my only complaint, you see, I didn't quite understand this when I bid on these dolls. Let's see. Well, I didn't understand that their legs were basically pants. So my only complaint about them is that they're unable to pull down their pants to use the toilet, like a lot of cartoon characters. But, and a lot of dolls of cartoon characters, which I've already talked about. You can't, like, this is some kind of a Halloween toilet from the dollar store. You can't pull down their pants and have them use the toilet like other dolls. But, so one thing, yeah, that's about the only thing I really don't like about them is that you have to wash them like they're an article of clothing rather than a doll. But Jazzie, um, did not have, you see, her gemstone was missing. I don't know if you can see that. But she's supposed to have kind of a blue sapphire little gemstone. And she didn't have one. It had fallen out. And all those ribbons in her hair, those hair ties are put there by me. But what happened was, I've been having these dollar store earrings. And you see that one that's real shiny? Well, that one wasn't glued on there very well, so I pulled it off. And I went through a very painstaking and time-consuming process of making a circle into an oval, which, if you know anything about math, you know that an ellipse has a bigger circumference and a smaller area than a circle with approximately the same radius, like the average radius of the ellipse. So it was something that involved cutting a lot of plastic off with a nail file. I had to heat up the nail file and, like a gemstone cutter, just trim the sides off so that she ended up with something that I think fits pretty well, and I glued it in. But it's shinier than the original gemstone she would have had, which was just a plain blue sapphire. And she would have had a matching little bra thing. But somehow that got removed. But what I want to talk about today is Jazzie and Jasmine. You see, this doll, like I say, this is not the original Jazzie that I had back in 1991. Jazzie was a doll that basically she was like Barbie's cousin, okay, except she had flat feet. And she was discontinued conveniently around the time that the Aladdin movie came out in 92 or 93 or something. I think they made their very last Jazzie, and this might be her, sometime around summer of 92. Okay, well, I can remember, like I say, when my dad used to have a Christmas party, or there used to be a Christmas party at my dad's workplace for kids. And this one lady would buy all the kids a Christmas present based on their age and gender, which I always thought was pretty stupid. Because, I mean, who's to say that, like, every, girl or boy that's, a certain age is into the same thing? You know what I'm saying? So they would always buy a Christmas present. And when I was an 8-year-old girl, see, more proof that it's ridiculous to think I'm male. When I was an 8-year-old girl in 91, around Christmas time, I got this Jazzie doll as a Christmas present. Or it wasn't her, it was a different version of Jazzie. And the difference was that unlike this doll, who has purple eyes, she had blonde hair and brown eyes, which is an extremely rare combination for a doll. Because usually, when they give a doll brown eyes, she's either a brunette or a non-white ethnic type doll, like an Asian doll or a black doll or something like that. Well, it's very rare to have a blonde doll with brown eyes. And if I would have had the brain that I have now, back then, I would have appreciated that and treasured her and never wanted to do what I ended up doing to her. Well, at 8 years old, you see, I wasn't really that into Barbie dolls per se. And this is the other doll I want to talk about, who is Derek, which I should have had back then, but I didn't. I got him much later. Okay, he was like, I think he was a boyfriend doll. He was like an alternative Ken doll, like another type of Ken doll around that time that was popular. Derek, Alan, Ken, you know what I'm saying. They had a few different versions of Ken, and Derek was one of them. And I think he was a boyfriend to one of the Jazzies. But I know for sure he was a boyfriend to one of the rocker Barbies, which was another gift that I had gotten maybe 3 years prior to this from the same company. Um, but he was like a male doll around that time that I didn't have. I think I had a Ken and an Alan, or I had three Kens, three Barbies, and three of the kids that I've already shown on here. Um, so basically, I had this Jazzie doll, and I did not appreciate her. And as a result, I no longer have the original one that I had at the time. Um, what happened was, like, I had three blonde Barbies, as I've stated before, and that really bothered me because I had, with Ken dolls, I had a blonde, a brunette, and sort of a brownette, which is light brown. And so it really bothered me that I didn't have a brunette Barbie. And if I would have thought my parents would have gotten me one, I should have, what I should have done was ask for a brunette Barbie, or I should have gotten a brunette Barbie, before I was much older, which I didn't have a brunette any kind of doll until I was 17, and I bought a little kidcore girl that I've put on here before that I call Penny. And I made a blonde boy named Cody, which is why that Cody Talks person is unforgettable, and it really makes me mad that he's nothing like the cute little boy in the movie, the Disney movie, The Rescuers Down Under. But I digress. So, basically, I had these blonde Barbies, and when I was like, well, I would trim the hair, which is the reason my mom took them all out of my room, I think when I was 11. Um, but basically, I wanted a brunette Barbie. And so at the age of 13, somehow I snuck them into my room again. And they were not in my room, they were in top of my sister's closet. And I thought that I was going to make a brunette Barbie by taking a permanent marker and coloring her hair, which is to this day something I regret. Because permanent marker does not stay in your doll's hair, let me tell you. And so it messed up her face. She had black all over her face. Looked like she'd gotten soot on her face. And it wouldn't come off. And it just ruined her permanently. In around 96 or 97 or something, I was like 13. And from that day forward, I really didn't have three blonde Barbies anymore. I had two blonde Barbies and one that I had ruined, which was Jazzie. I thought that with the brown eyes, she would look good with dark hair. So, I feel really sad when I think about the fact that her blouse or her swimsuit top that she came with is still here on Jasmine instead of Jazzie. That's still here, but the doll isn't. And like I say, the closest thing I have is this other Jazzie that I got on eBay. And I no longer have my blonde hair, brown eyed Jazzie. And of course, I guess I could paint her eyes brown if I really wanted to, but I'd rather just kind of leave well enough alone. Now that I'm older, I've kind of learned that that's just the best thing to do. Just leave things as they are. If it isn't broken, don't fix it. And so, yeah, I like this purple-eyed Jazzie. But it sure would be nice if I still had my blonde hair, brown-eyed Jazzie, extremely rare, from 1991.